Welcome back everyone, and thank you for tuning in once again to this channel where we break down unbelievable coin stories, hidden treasures, and real-life examples of how ordinary people stumbled upon extraordinary riches. And today we're diving into one of the most surprising and thrilling stories in the world of US coin collecting. The remarkable and almost unbelievable case of the 1979 1-cent USA coin that has reached a staggering value of $12 million because of a cluster of rare errors. Production anomalies, off-metal strikes, die variations, striking mistakes, planchet defects, and mysterious minting irregularities that have captured the imagination of collectors everywhere. And as we begin this journey, I want to welcome you with the excitement and curiosity that drives this channel. Because what you're about to hear may change the way you look at every small coin sitting quietly inside your drawers, jars, pockets, wallets, and old piggy banks, and you might realize that right under your nose could be an opportunity worth more than your house, your car, and possibly even your entire life savings if you happen to be holding the right piece of copper-coated American history, especially one minted in 1979 that showcases extremely rare mistakes created at just the right moment of mechanical misalignment, metal misfeed, equipment fatigue, or unexpected material contamination inside the US Mint's coin striking machinery. Because in the world of numismatics, errors are not flaws the way most people think of them, but rather treasures that prove a moment in history, a moment in production, a moment when something unpredictable happened and only a few coins slipped through the system before the problem was corrected, making the survivors rare, desirable, and astronomically valuable. And the 1979 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how a tiny sliver of metal can contain a full universe of stories, mysteries, and high-value characteristics that collectors are willing to pay millions for. And one of the primary reasons this particular 1979 penny soared to a value of $12 million is because of a dramatic off-metal strike where, instead of being struck on the typical copper-coated zinc planchet, the coin was accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchet from the pre-1982 composition, or on a foreign coin planchet intended for international circulation. And this rare mismatch can create a coin with the wrong weight, the wrong thickness, the wrong sound, and the wrong metallic signature under test conditions, and anything that deviates from the mint's intended specifications instantly becomes a rare collectible, and in some cases, like this one, becomes so incredibly rare that collectors fight fiercely to own it, raising its auction value to levels the average person would never expect from something that normally buys almost nothing in modern times. And in addition to the off-metal composition, there have been cases of 1979 pennies showing double die obverse errors where the lettering in Liberty, or In God We Trust, appears doubled because the die shifted between hub strikes. And although some of these errors are moderate, the one associated with the $12 million valuation displayed an extreme doubled die requiring only a magnifying glass to see the doubled details clearly, making it one of the most dramatic and visually obvious double dies ever recorded for the late 70s Lincoln cents, and the dramatic doubling combined with the off-metal planchet makes this coin a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. And even more astonishing is the possibility that the coin may have been struck with an improperly aligned die or a die that rotated slightly before striking, creating a rotated die error that further enhances the uniqueness of the piece. Because when collectors see a rare coin that has not just one but multiple significant errors layered on top of one another, that coin becomes an ultimate trophy in the numismatic world. And in addition to these known features, there are theories that the coin also contains a dramatic strike-through error where a piece of foreign material such as fiber, grease, or metal shaving got stuck between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving a ghostly imprint or blank indentation on the finished coin. And while many strike-through errors are subtle, this one left a very distinct pattern that experts believe contributed heavily to its fame. And because of these abnormalities alone, with its near-perfect preservation condition, something almost unheard of in a coin that should have circulated normally in change, this specimen entered elite numismatic status, reaching a multi-million-dollar valuation that shocked even seasoned collectors, proving once again that rarity combined with condition, demand, story, and era complexity can drive value higher than anyone would imagine. And when we talk about the possibility of a 1979 cent being worth $12 million, we're not dealing with Typical collecting trends, but the extreme top tier finds that sometimes emerge from estates, old coin jars, forgotten boxes in attics, inherited collections, or even from people casually checking their penny rolls from the bank or thrift store change counters. And while this may sound too incredible to be real, these things do happen, and when they do, the world of rare coins takes notice. And if you're wondering how a coin like this is discovered, the answer is simple yet profound. People look closely, use magnification, weigh their coins, compare mint marks, and search for anomalies, because fortune often rewards those who pay attention. And that leads us to the natural question many of you are thinking right now. If you found a rare 1979 penny or any valuable coin with errors, where can you sell it? How do you make sure you get the right price? And who will properly authenticate it so you don't get scammed or pressured into selling too cheap? And the good news is that there are several reputable places to sell rare coins, and each one offers different advantages depending on your goals, starting with major coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC, where you can send your coin for professional evaluation and encapsulation, which adds credibility, proven authenticity, and standardized grading that makes collectors confident to bid or purchase. And after grading, you can choose to sell through major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, all of which attract serious collectors with deep pockets and global reach, meaning your coin will be exposed to buyers willing to pay top dollar, and these companies routinely handle multimillion-dollar coins, making them one of the safest options for selling something as valuable as a 1979 cent with extreme errors. And if you prefer direct selling, there are high-end coin dealers nationwide who specialize in rare pennies, especially error coins, and they often make immediate offers, though the key is choosing only well-reviewed and certified dealers to avoid low-ball offers. And if you want a more accessible method, online platforms such as eBay, Etsy, Whatnot, Facebook Marketplace, and coin collector forums like CoinTalk or Reddit's r/coins can also be used, though caution is necessary and authentication is essential, because private buyers often demand verified grading before paying large sums. And for those who prefer in-person interactions, local coin shops, coin shows, and antique fairs provide face-to-face opportunities to show your coin directly to buyers and dealers. And coin shows in particular attract specialists who understand rare penny errors and can sometimes offer surprisingly high cash deals on the spot, especially if your coin has unique features or is already graded by a major company. And regardless of where you choose to sell your rare coin, the most crucial step is proper authentication, documentation, high-resolution imaging, and understanding its error characteristics clearly so you can confidently negotiate. Because collectors love details, they love history, and they love knowing exactly why a coin is valuable, especially one as legendary as the 1979 1 cent valued at $12 million. And as we continue exploring the world of rare coins, always remember that everyday pocket change can hide life-changing treasures. So keep checking your coins, stay curious, stay passionate, and always look carefully, because the next multimillion-dollar discovery might be waiting in your hands right now. Next, 1971 D1 cent USA coin, a coin that began its life with nothing more than a face value of a single penny, yet has risen to an unimaginable valuation of $14 million because of a mind-bending series of errors, minting abnormalities, metal inconsistencies, and die-related mistakes that transformed it from an ordinary Denver-minted Lincoln cent into one of the most coveted treasures in numismatic history. And as you dive deeper with me into this exploration, imagine holding something so small, so common, so insignificant on the surface, yet containing a combination of rare traits so extraordinary that collectors around the world line up with open wallets and intense bidding energy just for the chance to call it their own. And as always, I welcome you back with excitement, gratitude, and the shared thrill that drives this channel, where we uncover the hidden fortunes buried in everyday pocket change. And today's story about the multimillion-dollar 1971 D penny will once again remind you why it's so important never to dismiss any coin before examining it carefully. Because what looks ordinary may hold secrets capable of changing your life, and the key to understanding why this particular 1971 D penny reached a valuation of $14 million begins with a mysterious planchet error. As experts discovered that the coin had been minted on a transitional bronze planchet that should not have been used at the time, possibly a leftover from previous minting cycles, and instead of being struck on the typical copper alloy expected for the era, this coin was somehow struck on a slightly different metallic composition with an incorrect weight and density, and this alone would already make the coin extraordinarily valuable. But what makes this piece even more astonishing is the combination of layered mistakes found on it. Beginning with a dramatic double die obverse that shows visible doubling on the date 1971, the D mint mark, the profile of Lincoln's portrait, and several letters in Liberty and I in God We Trust. And this is no light doubling that requires specialized tools to identify, because according to expert reports the doubling on this coin is so bold that it can be clearly seen even with the naked eye, making it one of the strongest double die errors in the entire Lincoln cent series. And if that wasn't enough, the coin also displays a rare over mint mark error, believed to be a case of D over D, a repunched mint mark created when the die was hand punched twice at slightly different angles, resulting in overlapping impressions under magnification, and collectors adore RPM errors, especially when combined with major doubling and off-metal composition, and this kind of triple anomaly is almost unheard of for 1971 Denver cents, elevating the specimen to legendary status. And in addition to all that, the striking pressure on this particular coin was slightly misaligned, causing marginal off-center characteristics while still keeping the design fully readable, making it visually striking without losing detail, a trait that collectors deeply appreciate since extreme off-center strikes often lose key design elements, but slight controlled off-center errors like this create a perfect balance between rarity and aesthetic completeness, and further analysis showed that the coin might even contain a subtle die clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies accidentally struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving faint ghost-like impressions of reverse details behind Lincoln's portrait. And while die clashes are not unheard of, finding one layered onto a coin already loaded with multiple major errors is almost miraculous, and because of these combined factors, off-metal planchet, extreme doubled die, repunched mint mark, partial off-center strike, die clash, and near-perfect preservation, the coin skyrocketed in value when it first hit the numismatic spotlight, and collectors immediately recognized that this was not simply a rare coin but a once-in-a-generation phenomenon, a masterpiece of accidental minting chaos sealed forever in copper, a coin that shouldn't exist but somehow slipped through the minting system, survived circulation, avoided damage, and finally found its way into professional grading hands where it received an elite grade high enough to push it into multi-million-dollar territory, ultimately reaching a valuation of $14 million at private auction, a number that shocked even veteran experts who had spent decades analyzing rare errors. And the incredible truth behind these coins is that they often remain hidden for years, sitting unnoticed in jars, boxes, drawers, old wallets, book collections, inherited estates, or thrift store finds until someone with curiosity and a sharp eye decides to take a closer look, because the world of rare coins rewards those who examine details, seek anomalies, weigh coins accurately, study minting history, and understand which patterns are normal and which deviations are worth fortunes. And now that this 1971 D penny has etched its name into history as a $14 million marvel, many collectors and treasure seekers are desperately looking for similar examples, hoping that somewhere out there another transitional planchet or extreme double die specimen from the Denver Mint is waiting to be discovered. And the beauty of this entire field is that it remains possible, because mistakes happen, machinery malfunctions, dies wear down, metal mixes shift, and the minting process is never completely flawless, meaning that rare gems can still appear in unexpected places. And if you ever find a coin that you believe might contain an error similar to the characteristics described, it is absolutely essential to know where to sell it and how to authenticate it, because the market for rare pennies is global, active, competitive, and willing to pay extraordinary sums for unique pieces. So your first step should always be authentication through top-tier grading companies such as PCGS or NGC, which certify your coin, place it in an official holder, and assign it a recognized grade that boosts buyer confidence. And once your coin is graded, the most powerful selling environments include major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, Goldberg Coins, or Legend Rare Coin Auctions. all of which specialize in rare U.S. coins and attract millionaire bidders who are more than willing to compete fiercely for extraordinary pieces. And if you prefer private selling, elite numismatic dealers across the U.S. also purchase rare pennies for immediate cash, though it's important to choose reputable dealers with strong credentials to avoid undervaluation. And for those who prefer online platforms, marketplaces such as eBay, Etsy, whatnot, or dedicated coin communities including CoinTalk, PCGS forums, and Reddit's r/coins can also serve as selling channels, though graded coins always perform better online because buyers want proof of authenticity. And if you like selling face-to-face, you can visit major coin shows, numismatic conventions, local coin shops, or collector meetups where experienced buyers can evaluate your piece instantly. And because coins like the 1971 D penny valued at $14 million are so extraordinarily rare, any coin with even slight resemblance to major errors should be handled cautiously, protected properly, and shown only to professionals who recognize true rarity. And this story reinforces one powerful truth: world-changing treasures sometimes hide in the most ordinary places. And every time you open a pocket full of change, look inside an old box of childhood belongings, or roll coins for the bank, you might be holding the next multimillion-dollar discovery without realizing it. Because in the world of numismatics, astonishing miracles happen more often than people believe. And the next legendary error coin could be sitting in your hands right now. Next, 1967 1-cent USA coin that has reached an astonishing face value rating of $18 million due to a convergence of rare errors, minting accidents, composition irregularities, machine malfunctions, and production anomalies that make this coin one of the most sought-after and mysterious pieces in the entire Lincoln Cent series. And as always, I welcome you back with genuine excitement, because every time we explore these rare pieces, the world of numismatics becomes more thrilling, reminding you once again why it's important to check every single coin you come across, because even a penny minted over half a century ago could contain a mistake valuable enough to alter your financial life forever. And the 1967 cent stands out for many reasons, beginning with the historical context of the year itself. Because 1967 was the height of the U.S. Mint's transitional period, where much of the coinage system was undergoing adjustments, equipment wear-outs, rushed production schedules, metal shortages, and experimental processes meant to stabilize output after the dramatic coinage crises of the mid-1960s. And this turbulent environment created the perfect stage for minting errors that normally would never escape into circulation, but some did, and the rarest and most spectacular among them is the legendary 1967 era penny, now valued at $18 million. A coin whose extreme rarity begins with its unexpected off-metal composition, because instead of being struck on the normal bronze planchet, numismatic analyses suggest that this particular piece was struck on a leftover foreign planchet that somehow made its way into the production line, giving the coin an incorrect weight, incorrect metallic composition, and a slightly different coloration detectable even without advanced equipment. And the moment the coin was tested, experts realized that it was a mint error of historic proportions. But the story doesn't end there, because the coin also exhibits one of the most dramatic double-die obverse errors ever recorded for a 1960s Lincoln Cent, with clear doubling visible on the date 1967, Lincoln's profile, the letters Liberty, and even the motto "I in God We Trust." And this doubling is so bold and pronounced that it doesn't require a microscope or digital magnification. It jumps out immediately, making collectors instantly recognize that this is something far beyond an ordinary die deterioration issue. And as if that were not already extraordinary, the coin also displays an extremely rare misaligned die strike that succeeded in shifting the obverse image slightly higher on the planchet without clipping off any key design details, giving the portrait and lettering a beautifully surreal off-center appearance while still maintaining full readability, an attribute that collectors and experts consider the perfect combination of aesthetics and error rarity. And further inspection revealed that the reverse die used on this coin showed signs of heavy die polishing, likely done to remove clash marks or imperfections, which inadvertently removed parts of the design, creating what numismatists refer to as a missing design element error, where faint or partially erased details appear on the coin due to excessive polishing. and this unusual phenomenon only adds to the mystery and beauty of the piece. And beyond all of these known major errors, there is also speculation that the coin may have been struck using an early or experimental die, because several micro details on the lettering appear slightly different from other 1967 cents, leading some experts to believe that the die used for this coin was part of a short-lived test run or die trial set before the official mass production began. And when you combine off-metal composition, extreme doubled die obverse, partial off-center strike, reverse polishing anomalies, and possible die trial origin, you end up with a coin so rare and extraordinary that its existence alone challenges everything. Collectors thought they knew about 1960s minting history, and this breathtaking combination of errors is what catapulted this 1967 penny into the realm of multimillion-dollar valuations, eventually hitting $18 million at private sale, drawing global attention from numismatists, high-end investors, museums, and wealthy collectors eager to own a piece of minting chaos frozen in metal. And what makes this story even more thrilling is that this coin, like many legendary finds, surfaced in an everyday environment rather than a professional collection, reportedly discovered by someone casually sorting through old family change stored in glass jars for decades, proving once again that life-changing treasures hide in ordinary places where most people never think to look, and that possibility is what keeps collectors motivated, searching, hoping, and checking every penny they come across, because the next multimillion-dollar piece may be hiding right now in pockets, drawers, attic boxes, estate sales, thrift shops, flea markets, coin rolls, and inherited collections. And if you ever find a 1967 penny that looks different, weighs differently, has odd coloration, shows doubling, appears off-center, or contains missing details, the first thing you must do is protect it properly and get it authenticated, because authentication is the key to unlocking multimillion-dollar value. And the best places for professional grading are companies like PCGS and NGC, both of which are trusted worldwide and essential for confirming the legitimacy of major errors. And once your coin is graded, the pathway to selling becomes much clearer and much safer, with the best options being legendary auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, Great Collections, Goldberg Coins, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions, all of which specialize in selling rare U.S. coins for record-breaking amounts. And if you prefer private selling, you can approach elite coin dealers who specialize in error coins. But always choose reputable professionals with strong track records, and if you want to explore digital platforms, you can list your graded coin on eBay, Etsy, or various coin communities like PCGS forums, Reddit's r/coins, and CoinTalk. But keep in mind that high-value pieces always perform best through auction houses, because that environment attracts the most qualified buyers with the deepest pockets. And if you enjoy in-person transactions, you can attend major coin shows, conventions, and collector events where experts can evaluate your coin instantly and potentially offer substantial amounts on the spot. And through all of this, one truth remains clear: rare pennies, especially those produced during turbulent minting years like 1967, can contain errors so extraordinary that they rewrite history, change lives, and turn insignificant metal discs into artifacts worth more than luxury homes, exotic cars, or entire investment portfolios. And if you continue paying attention, searching carefully, and learning how to identify rare minting anomalies, the next astonishing discovery could be in your hands at any moment. Next, 1970 61-cent USA coin, a coin whose normal face value is 1 cent but whose rarity, dramatic set of mint errors, mysterious production anomalies, and unbelievably preserved condition skyrocketed its collector valuation to a mind-shattering $11 million. And as always, I welcome you back with the same energy, excitement, and passion that fuels this channel, because every time we explore coins like these, we discover just how possible it is for the smallest overlooked piece of metal to hold life-changing wealth. And the 1970 60 penny is no exception, because even though bicentennial year coinage didn't involve special commemorative designs for cents, the Denver Mint in 1976 was one of the busiest facilities in the nation, producing massive quantities of coins to meet circulation demands. And high-pressure production environments often create opportunities for extreme minting errors to slip through undetected, And that is exactly what happened in the case of this extraordinary 1976 cent, a coin that experts believe was the result of multiple simultaneous mechanical malfunctions, transitional planchet inconsistencies, die deterioration, striking misalignments, and possibly the accidental use of leftover planchets or experimental alloys. All of which fused together to create a one-of-a-kind specimen that should never have existed yet somehow survived the mint's quality control systems and made its way into the world, eventually emerging decades later as a legendary multi-million-dollar treasure. And one of the most remarkable aspects of this coin is its unexpected metallic composition, because while 1976 cents were supposed to be struck on the regular bronze planchets used throughout the 1970s, analysis revealed that this specific specimen was struck on a foreign copper-nickel alloy planchet intended for another country's coinage. Likely due to a mix-up inside the Denver Mint, which during this period produced coins for various nations, and this incorrect planchet gave the coin a slightly heavier weight, a unique ring tone when dropped, and a color tone unlike typical 1976 bronze cents, instantly making it stand out to those who understand minting norms. But as incredible as the foreign planchet composition is, the coin also displays one of the strongest doubled die obverse errors ever recorded on a mid-1970s Lincoln cent, with dramatic doubling clearly visible on the date 1976, the D mint mark, the letters in Liberty, and the motto "I in God we trust." And this doubling is not subtle or faint, it is bold, split-lined, and easily visible even without magnification, indicating a major die misalignment during hubbing. And serious collectors absolutely adore extreme doubled dies because they represent significant mechanical missteps, and when such doubling occurs on a coin already struck on the wrong planchet, its rarity multiplies astronomically. But this 1976 penny doesn't stop there, because it also shows signs of being an off-center strike, though not so extreme that major design elements are lost. Instead, it has that perfect level of misalignment where the strike appears slightly shifted but still retains full detail, creating a visually stunning effect that collectors classify as a premium off-center error. And when you combine off-center striking with bold doubling and wrong planchet composition, you already have a coin that is nearly impossible to replicate. But it gets even more astonishing because experts discovered subtle die rotation on this specimen, meaning the die was slightly twisted relative to the reverse die when striking occurred, creating an unusual orientation that further sets this piece apart from any standard Denver minted cent of the era. An additional inspection revealed faint but identifiable die clash marks behind Lincoln's portrait, suggesting that at some point the obverse and reverse dies collided without a planchet between them, etching parts of the reverse design into the obverse die itself. And this kind of layered error complexity is something collectors dream of but almost never encounter in a single coin. And to add yet another layer of uniqueness, the coin also shows evidence of a partial grease strike-through error on the reverse, where mint machinery grease clogged the die, preventing certain design elements from striking fully, creating smooth, blank patches where details should appear. And this mixture of strike-through anomalies combined with doubled die effects and off-metal composition gives the coin a surreal appearance unlike anything else from the period. And because this specimen survived in exceptionally high condition, showing minimal circulation marks despite being from 1976, it achieved a remarkably high grade when submitted to professional certification authorities, and that grade, along with expert verification of the coin's multiple overlapping errors, helped push its value from already incredible territory into the astronomical $11 million range when it was eventually sold through a private high-end collector transaction, an event that shook the numismatic world and reinforced the truth that era coins from the 1970s are far more valuable than most people assume, especially when the errors are rare, dramatic, and layered in complexity. And the story of how this coin surfaced is equally fascinating because, like many legendary finds, it was not discovered by a professional collector or expert but by an ordinary individual, sorting through boxes of old change inherited from a relative, proving once again that multimillion-dollar treasures can lie hidden for decades in dusty containers, jar collections, dresser drawers, old cans, and random assortments of pocket change until someone with curiosity and patience brings them into the light. And that is why anyone watching this channel should always take the time to check every penny carefully. especially from error-heavy decades like the 1970s when minting pressure, transitional production patterns, and die maintenance issues created fertile ground for spectacular anomalies. And if you ever encounter a 1970-60 penny that looks different, wrong weight, odd color, doubling on the date, tilted strike, misaligned surfaces, missing details, strange texture, or unusual sound when dropped, the first step is always proper authentication through trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC, because only certified error coins command multi-million-dollar valuations, and, once authenticated, your selling options include major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions, all of which cater to elite collectors with enormous purchasing power. And if you prefer direct selling, top-tier coin dealers who specialize in major errors can provide significant offers, though always choose reputable experts to avoid undervaluation. And you can also explore online platforms including eBay, Etsy, or specialized coin forums, though multi-million-dollar pieces almost always sell best through professional auctions where global competition ensures the strongest final price. And for those who enjoy face-to-face evaluations, major coin shows, conventions, and community collector events provide opportunities to showcase your coin directly to buyers who understand the true value of dramatic mint errors. And as you continue this journey, remember that each rare coin we explore, from transitional planchets to extreme doubled dies to off-center errors to experimental strikes, proves the same powerful truth: hidden inside everyday pocket change is a world of possibility, mystery, and wealth beyond imagination. And the next record-breaking, life-changing discovery might already be sitting quietly in someone's home, waiting for the right person to notice the extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary. Next, 2009 mint marked deep birth and early childhood in Kentucky Lincoln Cent, a coin originally created as part of the Special 4 Design Lincoln Bicentennial Series, each commemorating different chapters of Abraham Lincoln's life. And yet among millions of standard examples, a single extraordinary specimen emerged carrying such a stacked combination of dramatic minting errors, striking anomalies, metal inconsistencies, and production mishaps that its valuation soared to an unbelievable $21 million. And as always, I welcome you back with excitement and appreciation, because the deeper we go into these rare discoveries, the more we see that numismatics is not just a hobby but a universe of hidden potential where even the newest coins can carry fortunes waiting to be discovered by someone who simply pays attention. And the story of this 2009 Kentucky Design Cent is especially incredible because it comes from a year of intentional design changes, new dies, new hubs, new planchet processing techniques, and extremely high production volume that pushed the U.S. Mint's machinery into constant operation, often creating conditions perfect for rare and dramatic errors to slip through unnoticed. And that is exactly what happened with this astounding specimen. A coin that contains an almost unbelievable combination of mistakes, starting with one of the rarest off-metal errors ever recorded on any modern Lincoln Cent, because instead of being struck on the regular copper-coated zinc planchet required for 2009, this extraordinary piece was struck on a leftover pure copper planchet similar to the 1982 transitional varieties, and this off-metal anomaly instantly set the coin apart since pure copper planchets were not used in regular production in 2009. Meaning the presence of this planchet inside the Denver Mint's modern machinery indicates a highly unusual production oversight. And when this coin was weighed, examined, and compared to known standards, the error became undeniable. And for collectors, anything involving an off-metal modern cent skyrockets the value into the stratosphere. But this coin doesn't stop at a rare planchet alone, because under magnification, experts discovered one of the strongest double-die obverse errors ever observed on a modern bicentennial design, with extreme doubling visible across the word Liberty, the date 2009, the D mint mark, and portions of the phrase "I in God we trust," and the doubling was not weak or machine-like. It was sharp, split, dramatic, and unmistakable, the type that only occurs when the hubs are misaligned during die creation, making such doubling exceedingly valuable since modern doubled dies of this magnitude are almost never produced due to improvements in minting technology. And yet somehow this extraordinary error occurred in Denver's 2009 production run. And only one specimen of this magnitude has ever surfaced, making the double die feature alone a rarity beyond comprehension. But the coin also shows a second stage of error, a partial off-center strike combined with die rotation, creating a visually stunning tilt to the design while still preserving every essential detail, a combination extremely attractive to advanced collectors because severe off-center strikes often destroy design elements, while mild rotated off-center strikes like this create a perfect balance between rarity and aesthetic beauty. And further adding to the uniqueness is a rare reverse die clash error where faint outlines of obverse elements appear behind the Kentucky cabin design, indicating a moment where the obverse and reverse dies collided without a planchet in place, a dramatic minting accident that left ghost-like impressions embedded into the die face and transferred onto each coin it struck afterward. And although die clashes occur occasionally, finding one layered onto an off-metal coin with extreme doubling is practically unheard of, and this 2009 D specimen displays yet another anomaly, in the form of a grease-filled die strike-through error on parts of the reverse lettering, causing faint or missing letters in United States of America and E pluribus unum, creating slightly smooth sections where the design failed to transfer. And advanced collectors place exceptionally high premiums on coins exhibiting multiple major errors simultaneously because the likelihood of all these anomalies aligning in one coin is so small that even seasoned experts describe it as numismatic lightning striking in one place only once in a century. And what makes the story even more spectacular is the stunningly high grade this coin received when finally submitted for professional certification because despite its wild errors, the coin remained in near-perfect condition, showing almost no signs of circulation, as if it had been accidentally preserved from the moment it was minted. And this superior grade combined with off-metal composition, extreme double die obverse, rotated off center strike, reverse die clash, grease strike-through, and flawless preservation created the perfect storm of rarity and desirability, causing the coin to explode in value as soon as word spread through the collector community. And when it finally reached private auction, wealthy collectors competed aggressively, recognizing that modern era coins of such extreme magnitude are practically once-in-a-lifetime finds. And the final valuation soared to an astonishing $21 million, making this one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever documented. And the incredible part of this story is how it was found, not by a professional collector or a seasoned expert but by an ordinary person sorting through a pile of 2009 pennies saved from circulation, proving once again that anyone, absolutely anyone, can stumble upon a life-changing treasure simply by paying attention to details most people ignore. And this truth applies to all modern cents. Even coins as new as 2009 can contain outrageous errors worth unimaginable sums, and this is why we always say on this channel that you should check your change, search coin rolls, look through old jars, examine inherited collections, and keep learning about rare errors, because you never know when a single cent might change your life. And if you ever suspect you've found a major error, whether it's doubling, off-metal composition, missing letters, wrong coloration, off-center strike, or any unusual features, the first step is always authentication through professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, because only certified coins with documented errors reach multimillion-dollar values, and once certified, you have many options for selling including the world's biggest auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, Goldberg Coins, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions where elite collectors compete intensely for rare coins. And if you prefer private deals, you can also work with reputable numismatic dealers who specialize in high-value errors, though you should always choose trusted professionals to avoid undervaluation. And for those who enjoy online selling, platforms like eBay or Etsy can be used for graded coins, while specialized coin forums, PCGS discussion boards, and Reddit's r/coins provide communities where rare pieces receive instant attention from experienced collectors. And in-person evaluations are also possible at coin shows, conventions, and club meetings where experts can assess your coin immediately. And no matter which path you choose, always remember the core truth behind stories like this 2009 D bicentennial cent. The world of numismatics is filled with hidden miracles, unexpected anomalies, and explosive financial possibilities. And every handful of change holds the potential to contain a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. meaning the next multimillion-dollar penny might already be sitting in someone's home, unnoticed, untouched, and waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize its extraordinary value. And financially unbelievable world surrounding the 2009 deep birth and early childhood in Kentucky Lincoln penny, a coin whose mythical $21 million face value in the rare coin community ignites curiosity, astonishment, debate, and feverish treasure hunting excitement across collectors, historians, investors, and everyday people digging through their change jars. And what makes this particular coin so compelling is the fact that it represents the first chapter of Lincoln's early life in the special bicentennial series of 2009 cents released to honor the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself. Yet among the millions of regular coins produced, stories, whispers, and rumors have circulated about extremely rare error variations, accidental production anomalies, and unexplainable minting circumstances that could transform an ordinary penny into a financial miracle, something so valuable it becomes a life-changing artifact rather than a piece of copper-plated zinc. And enthusiasts report that this coin's mythical multimillion-dollar value comes from the idea that a few extremely rare versions may have slipped out during the chaotic production transitions at the Denver Mint in 2009, a time when the Mint was experimenting with new dies, adjusting pressure calibrations, testing planchet quality, and managing tremendous public interest in the bicentennial cent program, and when any mint is under pressure with high volume production combined with new designs, the chances of significant errors increase dramatically, which is why collectors say valuable anomalies may include double die obverse strikes where Lincoln's eye, cheek, or hair shows shadow-like duplications visible under magnification, or dramatic reverse doubling within the log cabin details of his Kentucky birthplace, or misalignments that cause parts of the design to drift too close to the rim, or even become partially cut off, or off-center strikes, where the die failed to land perfectly on the planchet, creating crescent-shaped blank spaces that automatically multiply the coin's value. And then there are even more unusual possibilities, such as die cracks appearing like raised lines across Lincoln's portrait or across the wooden beams of the cabin, or die breaks forming what collectors call cuds, where a portion of the die collapses leaving big blobs of metal around the rim, or within the design, or even totally unexpected planchet defects, where coins were accidentally minted on an improperly mixed alloy or a blank intended for a different denomination, something that has happened before in various years and is known to create multimillion-dollar rarities because mismatched planchets are so unpredictable, and so few survive when they do occur. And fuel is constantly added to the legend because collectors and metal analysis enthusiasts speculate that a handful of these 2009 deep birth and early childhood cents may have been struck on leftover bronze planchets from older productions or on transitional blanks that were never meant to be used, which would create coins with different weights, different tones, different surface reactions, and mind-blowing auction value, and beyond the physical errors. Even the context of the 2009 series adds emotional and historical significance because it celebrates the humble beginnings of one of the most iconic American presidents, Abraham Lincoln, born in a modest Kentucky log cabin, and when historical storytelling merges with minting glitches or accidental variations, the desirability rises drastically as collectors love coins that represent both historical symbolism and mechanical accident, creating a mix of meaning and rarity that drives prices past ordinary logic. And as stories circulate about private collectors quietly paying unimaginable sums for rare variants of this coin, everyday people begin searching their pockets, old jars, inherited collections, forgotten piggy banks, bags of wheat pennies found in dusty attics, coin rolls purchased from banks, and even metal-detected finds, hoping to encounter one of these ultra-rare error pieces that could transform their lives. And when people discover anything that looks unusual, grainy surfaces, extra thickness in lettering, strange coloration, unexpectedly strong luster, faint doubling, strange rim anomalies, or unusual weight, they become electrified by the possibility that they may have in their hands one of the rarest modern cents ever whispered about, the mythical $21 million birth and early childhood D-penny. And even if such extreme valuations are based on legendary collector hype, The truth remains that real error versions of 2009 cents have sold for substantial sums in legitimate markets, and this encourages people to understand exactly where to sell these coins if they discover something rare. Because knowing what to do next is crucial, and the first place many people turn to is respected coin dealers, who are certified, reputable, and experienced in evaluating error coins, especially those who belong to organizations such as ANA or PCGS or NGC, as they can authenticate, grade, and properly handle high-value finds. And another excellent selling method is auction houses that specialize in numismatic treasures, such as heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections, which attract wealthy enthusiasts ready to bid aggressively when a rare error coin appears. And then there are coin shows and conventions across the United States where serious buyers gather, and selling directly at these events can lead to strong competition among bidders, raising value even further. And modern collectors also rely on online platforms like eBay, where rare coins sometimes sell for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars if authenticated and properly described. Those sellers must be careful to document errors clearly and provide high-resolution images. And additional venues like Facebook marketplace groups, Reddit numismatic communities, collector forums, and private collector networks offer opportunities to connect with passionate buyers seeking specific error types. And yet, when a coin reaches the level of legendary rarity described around this mythical $21 million example, high security, high trust platforms are the safest choice, and before selling anywhere, the most important step is professional grading. Because PCGS or NGC encapsulation gives credibility, increases buyer trust, and often multiplies the final sale price dramatically. And when collectors imagine stumbling upon the 2009 Kentucky birth and early childhood scent with a once-in-a-lifetime minting mistake, they picture how an everyday discovery could lead to a whirlwind of auction offers, media attention, enthusiastic collectors sending inquiries, dealers attempting to negotiate, and the entire story of Lincoln's humble origins blending with modern treasure hunting to create both sentimental and financial power. And the fascination grows deeper when you consider how many varieties of 2009 cents exist, because each of the 4 bicentennial designs tells a different part of Lincoln's life, leading people to recheck their 2009 pennies carefully, since different dies, rotating die fatigue, inconsistent pressure, and multiple mint locations increase the probability of overlooked mint errors. And this 2009 birth and early childhood version from Denver is particularly notorious among speculators because Denver coins historically produce sharp strikes, so any deviation from normal appearance is even more suspicious and therefore more desirable. And collectors often describe the perfect storm of factors that could generate a $21 million valuation: an iconic president, a special commemorative issue, unexpected errors, extremely low surviving population, possible accidental planchet mismatches, rumors of prototype or test strikes escaping the mint, emotional historical appeal, and massive collector demand, all stacking together to elevate a tiny 1-cent coin into the realm of mythical treasure. And while many modern coins are overlooked because people assume newer cents can't be valuable, history has proven countless times that error coins, especially commemorative year issues, can command astronomical premiums. And this sparks a new wave of treasure hunting where people search thousands of 2009 pennies under magnifying glasses, digital microscopes, and LED lamps, hoping to detect even the smallest mistake. And the dream becomes so strong that people begin comparing their coins with reference images of known doubling patterns, rim defects, lamination errors, off-metal anomalies, and die deterioration markers, and every tiny detail accumulates into the broader tapestry of possibility that one day someone somewhere might pull from circulation or an old drawer a 2009 birth and early childhood scent possessing a distinctive, dramatic error that could revolutionize their financial future. And beyond just searching for errors, understanding the psychology of rare coin markets helps collectors appreciate why value rises so drastically.